Joining me here this afternoon to talk about the flu, COVID, and also RSV is Dr. Christopher Mansfield with IU Health. So thank you so much for joining me here this afternoon. We got a lot to break down because there's a lot going on here, that triple threat that we want to talk about. What exactly is that?
So triple threat, what we think about is RSV, which is respiratory syncytial virus, the flu, and COVID. Having all three of those coming at us at once is a big deal. The fatigue that we're feeling from COVID is a real thing, and influenza-like viruses are kind of spiking, which we've seen much earlier this year than in previous years.
And RSV too, that's something specifically that affects infants, correct?
Correct, and so yes, it infects infants mainly, and the flu usually we think of in the younger population as well, but we're seeing that across the board into our adults as well.
And what about here in Tippecanoe County and also our surrounding counties too? I mean, you talked about the visits to the hospital too. I mean, you guys are very overwhelmed.
Yeah, so this year, the last 2 years we got kind of a push aside, so to speak, from the influenza, and we were dealing with mainly COVID. This year we're spiking much earlier, and to your point, as far as being overwhelmed, both Franciscan and IU Health are seeing record numbers from urgent care visits, emergency department visits for those influenza-like illnesses.
Now, what about vaccines? I mean, you got the COVID vaccine, but then also you've got the flu vaccine as well. So, I mean, are people rolling up their sleeves to get one? What are we looking like?
Not nearly as much as we've seen even historically, and I would encourage people to get vaccinations if appropriate for them to do so. Our rates are relatively low. I think there's still time to get the influenza vaccination, and also this year it looks to be more effective than in previous years. Sometimes we'll see 40 to 60%. Now we're seeing more than about 50% efficacy from an influenza vaccination this year.
Now holidays are coming up. You know, we got Christmas and New Year's Eve. So people are going to be gathering and getting together. What is your advice for our viewers at home who had those holiday plans?
I think simple things, stay safe. If you're sick, you probably ought to stay home. I know it's difficult because you want to go be around your family and loved ones, but stay safe, drink fluids, wear a mask if you're infected or feel like you're sick, and just do the things that we should do to keep others safe as well.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon.